Built in 1860, Downs Hall is the only original building that remains on campus. It was originally the chapel, but is now home to theater. The vast majority of the theater department's history can be found in F. Obie's A History of Dramatics at Adrian College. The earliest play ever recorded took place on the platform of Downs Hall, which served as the chapel at the time. It wouldn't be until closer to the 2000s that Downs Hall would become the official hall for theater. The first play recorded was performed by the Star Literary Society in 1896. Not much else is known. The first well-recorded play was William Shakespeare's Othello, performed by the Shakespeare Reading Club.
My name is Dr. Anissa Morganson-Lindsay. I am the professor and chair of the Department of Theater and Dance, and I have been here at Adrian College since the fall of 2000. The history of Adrian College theater actually dates back to the 1859. People don't realize that theater has been on this campus since it opened. Traditionally, the graduating class would present a show to their parents as a graduation gift to them on graduation weekend. Back in the 1800s, it was mostly always the Shakespeare, partly because they could afford the rights, which were free. Shakespeare has been in the general domain for quite a while, so it was an easy one to go for. And it wasn't, of course, until we get into the 20th century that theater starts to develop as a department, and that's pretty much the way it went across the country.
Theater officially became a part of the Adrian College curriculum in the 1920s when Professor Russell H. Wagner started a 2-hour course in modern drama. With the help of others like Professor John Black, theater was able to keep growing.
Professor Michael Allen is probably one of the most genuine, nicest guys you'll ever meet. He cared about this department more than anyone I've ever known. He built this program into what it is today. When he started, they were doing theater, but it was very much haphazard, I would say. He was the first to start doing some musical theater. He would start kind of creating a program in terms of let's do productions regularly. Professor Allen really focused the program into growing it into not just a major, but that's something that students could definitely pursue careers out of and push from there. My friend was leaving his position here, and he asked if I would be interested in the connection. So it started off as an adjunct position for about a year. I did an adjunct position. After about 7 years, they hired me full-time, and I've been full-time since then. I am the only full-time faculty member. We do have, though, several adjunct faculty members. We have Chloe Whiting-Stevenson, who is an amazing person. Her specialty is in physical theater. Right now, we also have Professor Joe Zettelmeyer, who is a professional playwright who's working with us. Right now on break, we also have Professor Stephen Kiersey, who also does some playwriting, as well as quite a bit of acting and directing with us. So for students who come to Adrian College, and there's a lot of different things they can do with the theater department. Obviously, they can major in theater, they can minor in theater, but then we also have a major in musical theater. We also have a major in arts management with a theater emphasis, and a dance minor at the college. And because we have a full, production season, we do lots of different plays, dance, concerts, things like that. You don't have to do any of that. You don't have to major or minor in theater, dance, music theater, or arts management if you just want to come and play in our productions. I know several students who've come out of, say, University of Michigan, larger, NYU, kind of things like that. And some of them have never been on stage before when they graduate because there's just not enough opportunities. If you're a design student or a directing student, you've never directed or designed for the main stage. Those are usually kept for full-time professors. So that's kind of unique as a student coming to Adrian College, that in your freshman year, you can be, what do you want to do? We can do whatever you want to be a part of. So theater by nature is a team effort. You have to be a part of a team.
So my name is Charisma Williams. I am a sophomore and I'm double majoring in theater and arts management, and then I'm probably going to add a business minor. My focus is primarily in acting, but I do participate in, I participate in crew as well. A director needs their concept, and they need a set of designers that can make their concept come to life. There's a lighting design, there's a set design, costume design. You never really think about all the pieces that it has, but it's a lot. I didn't actually start getting into theater until I was an 8th grader. I was in middle school. And then I did it throughout high school, fell in love, and knew I needed to do it in college.
I am Kelsey Edwards. I am a senior, and I am a theater major with a focus in stage management. And then I came here to Adrian College, and I originally wasn't going to do anything with theater. And I was originally a double science major, and I figured out I didn't enjoy that, and I went to Anissa, and she's like, become a theater major, you like it. So now I'm a theater major. I'm usually a stage manager. I used to do sound in high school, so now I stage manage. So I've been stage managing since my sophomore year. I started out assisting stage managing my freshman year. Outside of theater, outside of that, I've pretty much hit every single theater position that you can be other than lights. But that's a really great thing about Adrian College, is that you can do every single thing you want and get it on your resume. I live with 3 actors. I'm the only tech person. So I got to see their process of, is this song the right song? Should I choose this song because we're doing a comedy for the musical this time around? So they're like, is this the right song? But it's also a historical comedy. So my one friend, Kenzie, had found a historical comedy song. Designers, they are planning way ahead. We already have our set design. We've had it since last semester. We've been working constantly on making sure that's up to date. We've been cutting stuff, adding stuff.
We all know that the #1 fear of people is public speaking. And theater is just a way of kind of teaching you some skills about getting up in front of a group of people and presenting yourself in a way that is not just informative, but can be also quite entertaining. It's always been used. Theater, since the beginning of time, theater has been used as a way of teaching presentation skills, teaching how you present yourself to a group of people. How do you use your voice? How can you be persuasive in speaking to an audience? So that's one that I think we can definitely use traditionally in working with other majors even on the program, in not necessarily even let's become a major, let's become a minor, but it's one that, if you are pre-law, if you're pre-med, if you are doing anything towards of communications and sales and business, you have to have those skills of being able to present yourself. And so that's something that I think we definitely need to work with. We've had a lot of changes, I'd say, in the last 5 years, with some retirement of staffing and some letting go of some staff. So it's one of those that we've got to kind of regroup and figure out how are we going to grow a department with some resources that we do have. I think it's possible. It's just trying to figure out how can we reach out to students who can see that Adrian College isn't just a sports school. I know we have a reputation of being a place that you come to play ball. But there's a lot more here than just the athletic. For instance, if we just did Tartuffe, and we should have definitely gotten on and gone over to the modern languages and say, look, it's a classic French show with a well-known French playwright. How can we work with this in with your curriculum? How can we attract students that would enjoy seeing that? COVID has been devastating in the theater community. Broadway's shut down now through, I think the last I heard was March of 2021. There's nothing going on. The smaller theaters are starting to figure out how can we survive and still do performances. here at Adrian College, we're no different. So I've really tried to kind of take this year as a learning tool. You know, we've been given a gift of, you're being forced to kind of accept and try things in a different and new way. Let's see what it can do for us. How can we learn something about our art and what we do for ourselves as performers and actors and designers, and how do we merge it in a new way to be able to present it to an audience in a different way. You know, Adrian College has been doing theater for well over 150 years, and I think it's kind of special that I'm here to be a part of it, and I hope that we can continue going for another 150 years. And we are in the oldest building on campus. Yeah, Downs Hall may not have been originally the intent for theater. It was the chapel on campus, but it has become our home. And I think it's interesting that we're just trying to keep that history going. What I would say is, you know, if you don't know what you're getting into, just go check it out. It's not a movie. It's very different. It's very interesting to be able to see a story unfold in front of you with live people that are 6 feet in front of you, and you may never have met somebody who's like that character, but there they are in front of you, and that's who you can really almost go up and touch them, and you're living life at the same time with them in that space, and that's pretty an amazing impact that you can have at that moment.
Every time someone hears theater, they only think of like Shakespeare or a really old show that like, oh, I read that in high school, I'm not going to enjoy that. But I don't think people understand that there are so many different concepts that come out of shows. Like one Shakespeare show can have 10 different concepts by one director, and that concept can go any way they want it.
You probably think it's going to be boring and it's not going to be fun, but in reality, you get entranced in the story, just like you do watching TV.
We're like a small, big family. Like we're all very closely knitted.
Every single show, there's this camaraderie that's created by the time the show wraps that just makes everybody so happy. Like, you build friendships that you never in a million years thought you would.
After each show, we're that theater group of kids that Applebee's doesn't want. Those loud, rowdy people, even though I'm probably the quietest out of all of them. Anissa, yeah. Honestly, she is a big reason why I am here, so I admire her very much. If it wasn't for her and Eric, which he's no longer here, I wouldn't have gotten my first professional job at Interlochen, and I'm very grateful for that. And if it also wasn't for Anissa, I wouldn't be interning here in the theater right now. Like, if anyone's interested in theater, come to Downs. We're always willing to help and get you involved because we always need people.
I am a very insecure person, but something about being on the stage and being surrounded by people that love this thing as much as you do is amazing. She is one of the most amazing people I've ever met. I've only known her for a year and a half at this point, but I genuinely feel like I've known that woman my entire life. Like, obviously with the whole situation with the theater department potentially being cut, she was by our side from the beginning. She was very honest with us on here's the possibilities, here's what could happen, here are your options. And she very much had the mindset of, I'm not going to leave anyone behind. It's someone's dream, just like anyone else's wants to be a politician. It's just what people want to do. So respect it.